Hey, what's going on, my friends? Happy Friday, day after Christmas. It's 83 degrees in Texas. I'm not complaining. Nice weather. But first time I used it on a run, so let me know if you can hear me. You see here, got a little TX transmitter on my iPhone. Hopefully, it improves the audio quality. I'm doing pretty good today. Uh, just doing work around the house, but got a bunch of workouts planned. Starting a little bit late, but so I did yesterday as well. I started doing trying to get the New York City badge in Zwift. It's 4 very tough workouts, and really didn't want to get started last night, but it was late and I was a little bit tired. But slammed the coffee, and then I did the first workout, which took me a little bit more than an hour. I think they progressively get harder, and the last one's an hour and a half, which means it'll take me 2 hours, because it's usually you're supposed to be giving you times based on your abilities, but I think it's quite a bit off. I know my settings are right too, but anyways, I got the first one done, and got it. This badge gives you a lot of XP, so you get an XP for every workout. There's 4 workouts, and of course they're all in New York City. So I got the first one done, and with the XP bump, I got moved up to level 15, and it told me I'm only about 25 miles away from getting my next bike upgrade for my steel frame. I've already got 2 upgrades. I think you can get up to 4 upgrades for a bike. So my first upgrade was the aero upgrade, and then the second one was the weight reduction upgrade. I'm not sure what the third one will be. And I'm probably about 8,000 feet away from getting my Mount Everest challenge finished. So, hey, thanks for joining. Yeah, let me know if you can hear me okay. Trying out a new mic, so nothing's worse. Hey, Sam, let me know if you can hear me okay. I'm trying out a new mic, so nothing's worse than doing a live stream and then the audio not work and you have to delete it. So, but anyways, I got the first workout of the New York City badge done. There's 4 workouts, and I got bumped up to level 15. Like I said, I'm only 20 miles away from my third bike upgrade on my steel frame, and I'm about 8,000 feet away from finishing the Mount Everest challenge, which should give me my Trek frame, Mondale frame, and then I'll continue the challenge. I gotta basically that's to finish the Mount Everest challenge. You gotta do 25,000 meters, and so I'm about 4 or 5,000 meters away. No, I'm sorry. You got to finish 8,000 meters. I'm probably about 1,500, 2,000 away. But then you get the Trek Mondale frame. But if you keep the challenge open, which the challenge opens automatically anyways now for new Zwift riders. Before you had to join it, but people didn't know about it and got angry. And anyways, if you recently started Zwift, it automatically puts you in the challenge. Anyways, once I finish that, I get my Trek frame. But if you keep the challenge open and you go from 8,000 meters to 50,000 meters, which in case will take me a couple months probably, you can get your Tron frame. You know, the one that has the glowing wheels, and that's actually one of the better bikes in Zwift too. So I definitely want to get that bike. But I'm just saving up my drops, my currency in Zwift. I got over 1 million now. I want to get up, once I get up to like a level 40 or 35, 40, I want to get one of the top climbing bikes, because That's what I enjoy doing anyways. I don't like the racing part of it, really, to be honest. I just like doing the long I like doing the tough routes to try to get the badges, especially the mountain stuff, which is actually going to help me as well in running. So I don't care too much about the racing, at least not yet. I mean, I race people up the mountain, but it's not really racing. It's just trying to keep up with them most of the time, because usually I'm the person that's not as strong as they are. So it works out pretty good. Yeah. What else going on? Yeah, I was working on my refrigerator. That's been a pain in the butt. I may have to put a new motor in it, but we'll see. Seems to be working okay now. Had a bad filter in it too. I'm gonna fix that. And had to repair one of my toilets and the sink and everything. It's funny, the faucet on my sink, I've been through many tools trying to get the filter out of the sink so the water comes out through the spigot. None of them work. Home Depot couldn't help me. Lowe's couldn't help me. So I just took a screwdriver and I basically made a hole through the screen in the bottom of the spigot, and it works fine now. And of course, if you put it full blast, it's not the perfect stream, but basically, it had been broken for a couple of years actually, and I finally fixed it. So kind of happy about that. Like I said, if you're just joining, it's about 83 degrees in Austin, Texas. Really hot, at least for this time of year. Sun's starting to go down, so it's in the 70s now. Really nice. And plan to lift weights later, and I also got to do that Zwift workout. My plan is to try to get my New York badge by Sunday. So it's 4 workouts. They're all over an hour long. Actually, the last 2 ones are an hour and a half, so they'll probably take me 2 hours each. So I'm gonna do one today, one Saturday and Sunday. So by Sunday, I should have the New York City badge. And when you finish these big badges, it opens up new areas for you. So why am I in a hurry to get it done? Because you only have until December 30th to finish. Otherwise, it disappears. So that's why Zwift kind of push you. They give you these opportunities to get huge amounts of XP, but you got to do it during a certain time frame. I finished one last week. So I'm trying to get that New York City badge. I should get it by Sunday. And then I'll try something else. Yeah. Just having fun. But I prefer the mountain stuff. Oh, I got my sprinter's badge too, my apprentice sprinter's badge. I guess that means I'm like the lowest level sprinter now. Because I think I did 40 seconds. They had like a 30 or 40-second sprint, and I averaged like 420 watts. So that was pretty intense too. When you're doing 400 watts, 30 seconds seems like 5 minutes. But I was listening to David Roach, and he said that there's one guy on Zwift that he mentioned the name, but he held 400 watts for 4 hours. I don't know how you could hold 400 watts for 4 hours. That's like Tour de France pro stuff. You know, that's like Tadej Pogacar. He does workouts like that. But I enjoy the workouts on Zwift and finishing the routes and stuff. Racing's not it's that much interesting to me. Also because a lot of people cheat on Zwift. They put the wrong weight of their body, their weight. And they tune down their Wahoo kicker. And there's a lot of ways you can cheat. So I'm not so happy about wanting to race on Zwift. But doing these long routes, just trying to finish them, because some of them are crazy long. I mean, I tried to do one that was 6 hours long, and I pulled out of it because I was trying to live stream it. But that would have been tough to finish. And they got the PRL long, which is about 8 hours long. That's the longest route. That would probably take me 10 hours, but I'm kind of looking at them like an ultra point of view. I want to do some of these long mountain routes. I have finished Alpe de Zwift, which is one of the toughest climbs in Zwift. When you see people on YouTube, that's one they're always trying to talk about their record times on. That was brutal. I did that one. But that's what's interesting about cycling. The day before yesterday, I did a French climb, and I did, it's like 21. It was 2,100 feet. To a runner, 2,100 feet don't sound like much, but to a cyclist, that's like, climbing 2,000 feet on a bike is like running 10,000 feet. It's a huge amount of climbing. And when I did that French mountain, it was a long French name. I can't remember it. It's on my Strava. But when I did it, if you do it at 100%, it's 2,100. And right before you finish the intro, you always got to like ride 1 or 2 miles to get to the mountain. They force you to warm up. If you don't do the intro, the ride don't count. So, anyways, when you get to the portal to go on the mountain, it gives you a chance to, if you want to downgrade to 75 or 50%. I was like, hell no, I'm going to do the whole thing. So I did 100%. But what's interesting, they got a competition or pro level, which is locked. There's no way I can do it. But you can turn up the mountain to 125%. I thought that was pretty interesting. And but the type of riders you see on Zwift, it's really, of course, you see the whole gamut. People like myself, back of the pack, and you see people elite pro level. You're pushing 2 watts. 2 watts per kg. It's kind of my average. And then you got somebody pass you at 4.5 watts per kg. Of course, they could be cheating, but anyways, if they're not, it's pretty impressive. But then you're sitting at 8 miles and they're already done 30 miles. They've already done the course 3 times. It's like, where do you get the energy? But, yeah, it's good stuff. It's just the whole world. There's so much to do on there. Well, I'm mainly just trying to build up my levels because I want to get the better bikes. And that's kind of it's kind of the same as my ultra running. I just like to finish the courses. I don't care about my placement and all that. So I'm having fun, learning new things all the time, how to use all the buttons. I learned how to send comments to other riders. I haven't done it yet, but you got to use your Zwift companion while you're riding. I learned how to give thumbs up to everybody. Well, they call it bombing everybody. But there's a button on my bike. If I push it and hold it down, it will send a thumbs up to 4 riders around me. So the closest 4 riders in front of me or in back of me get a thumbs up for me. So that's pretty cool. Just learning how to do all these things. Another thing important on Zwift that I learned from some very experienced people is once you get to the top of the mountain, you better ride the mountain back down. And you don't even have to ride it. The Zwift will do it for you, but you get a lot of points and you're getting a lot more XP because of the miles that you're covering. So just like on the French mountain that I did, not yesterday, but the day before, I climbed the mountain for an hour. And you realize how far you climbed when you turn around, because at the top, it always has a U-turn and takes you back down. But once you start going down the mountain, you get up to like 40 miles an hour, you can get off your bike and just start drinking, and do whatever you want. You don't have to pedal. I mean, your watts go down to 0, but your bike's still flying down the mountain. And they say you should always do that because you get all kinds of credits, mileage, and there's some there's some vertical factor too. Didn't quite understand it, but they say it helps you get up to higher levels. But like when I did that French mountain, I think my bike went down the mountain for like 15 minutes. I gained 3 or 4 mile more miles, and I wasn't even pedaling. So, but definitely anytime you climb a mountain, because the big mountains are always at the end of the course. Yeah. Whoever works at Zwift and is designing the courses, I think they're laughing every time they do it because they always put a huge mountain on the end of the course. But it makes it convenient. Once you get to the top of the mountain, you just do the U-turn, which is always built into the course, and let your bike fly down the mountain. When it gets down to the bottom, it will slow down and come to a stop. But you'll gain another 3 or 4 miles. Definitely do that. I didn't know that in the beginning. I was just stopping at the end of the course and turning it off. But you definitely want to turn around and go down the mountain. So, yeah, let me know what you're up to today. Like I said, I'm just taking it easy. I did do some work today. Not supposed to, but I did a bunch of emails and stuff that I had to do. So I got that out of the way. Because we got some days off next week too. New Year's coming up. But there's always finance related stuff that has to be done before the end of the year, and they always drive you crazy to get it done, and I don't want to do it next week, so I did that today. But this weekend I'm just gonna be working around the house. Like I said, I did a bunch of repairs in the house. I'm still jacking with my refrigerator, but I need to replace the mulch in the front yard. I got to do some painting, do some working out with my son on the weights. May do some of that tonight. That's the main reason I bought this new mic, is so that I can use it in my gym. If you're too far from the camera, it's hard to hear, but it's working out pretty good. So, and then tomorrow, I'm not sure what I'm gonna do yet. I was watching some football games yesterday, some low-level games. That's kind of my thing now. I'm kind of an expert on college football. That's my favorite to follow. I like high school football too, and NFL. I've started in previous years. I didn't follow NFL at all, but because my son's a big NFL fan, I started following it. Kind of a student of the game. I don't really have favorite teams. I like all the Texas teams, and it's kind of weird that this year, after the college season, we don't have UT and A&M. I mean, UT got cheated. They played a bunch of in-conference games and didn't get into the playoffs. I think they should have been in the playoffs, just like Alabama got in. And then A&M squashed their opportunity. I really can't believe how bad they played against Miami. So they were out in the first week of the playoffs, but Texas Tech is still in. I mean, who would ever imagine that Texas Tech would be the team that we have a chance to win a national championship for Texas? Unbelievable. So Texas Tech plays next week. So we got Texas Tech for college football, and then we got the Texans. I think the Texans have a really good chance to go a long ways in the NFL playoffs. So it's kind of weird. No UT, no A&M, no TCU. So I've been following that a lot. Alabama lucked out and got in the playoffs, and of course they won. They won their first round game against OU. What's going on? It's the end of the year for ultra running. All the pros are trying to get top 10 trail runner of the year. I think John Walmsley will get it. Seemed like single track and free trail both had him at the top. But you know who the most powerful person in trail running is? It's not free trail and it's not single track. I made this point. I made this point on a free trail podcast yesterday. They were talking about Spirit Award they get somebody never heard of, and they're pros. And I said, you're forgetting out Andy Glaze. That guy is the most powerful person in trail running. He's got over 1 million followers. Coming out with a new book soon. He's very positive. He's the guy bringing all the new people into trail running. He's got over 1 million followers. Unbelievable. It's not free trail and single track or even swap. These organizations are for people that are already in trail running. Free trail is like the Pat McAfee show of trail running. I like it. Same thing with single track. But it's for people that know trail running already. Talking X's and O's of trail running. But if you're in another sport, or if you're sitting on the couch thinking about becoming a trail runner, it's people like Andy Glaze that are pulling you into trail running. That's why he's got so many followers. A lot of them are not in running, just people admiring him. So I think he should have got the Spirit Award. They didn't even mention him. I thought that was. I think a lot of these top people in trail running are jealous of him because he's not an elite. He's actually pretty fast. He's front of the pack, but he races long ultras every month, sometimes every week. And he's had a 100-mile-a-week streak going on for a couple years as a fireman. It's pretty impressive. I think that's a pretty sweet job, fireman or teacher. You get time off, you work 2 days straight and then you get like 3 days off. It's really conducive to doing sports like this. So anyways, I think they should have given some credit to Andy Glaze. Didn't even mention him. So I mentioned him in the comments. Then I was listening to Single Track Day, which I also like. I like those guys. I think Finn does a good job. But don't kid yourself, they're influencers. They're not just elites. Free trail and single track, they change sponsors all the time. And they tell you it's the best thing that they ever used, but no, it's the people who's paying them. So keep that in mind. I mean, I did the same thing myself. I get free products and then I do videos on products, but I don't do that much anymore. I just want to do my own thing. But when people say, these big podcasters are not influencers, yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. I'll give you an example. Free Trail, they used to have a hydration pack sponsor from Japan. I forget the name. For a while. I mean, a good company. And then they switched to Osprey. And now it's with Osprey. Free Trail's now with Never Second, but before they were with some California company. I forget the name. Also another good company. So, I mean, these companies switch when the money goes away and they get a new sponsor. Same thing with Single Track. Their hydration sponsor used to be NAC, which is okay. Some of their stuff tastes like shit. Some of the stuff's good. I like their bars, which are made out of crickets. But back in the day, they say they're the best stuff there is. But now he's switched. Now he's sponsored by Precision Hydration, which is a good move. A much better company. But my point is, Single Track and Free Trail, they're influencers. They're podcasters and they're also elite athletes. Don't get me wrong. I don't like it when they say they're not elites. Finn is definitely elite. I mean, he's got top 10 at Cocodona 2 years in a row, and I think he has a good chance of winning it. Same thing with Jeff Garmeyer. Same thing with Dylan Bowman. I mean, he's an elite athlete. He's going to run Hard Rock this year. Every time he runs Hard Rock, he has a good chance of winning it. So I don't like hear when they say they're retired or they're not elite. Same thing with conversational pace. Brett. He's an elite runner too. He's very fast. I think he got he always places top 10 at any high level 50Ks. And I remember he got like a 4th or 5th at Javelina one year. like 3 or 4 years ago. So he's also very fast. But you see single track there. They're pushing Norda shoes. Yeah, Norda's a good brand, but crazy expensive, close to $300 a pair. And before that, they were pushing Saucony and others. So my point is, you can listen to everyone, including myself. I review shoes sometimes, but you got to try them yourself and get opinions from many people, because a lot of times, especially these big influencers like Free Trail, Single Track, they have to give a good review. And often, if they have something they have a problem with, they'll talk to the company beforehand and they'll get it fixed if it's a prototype. If these big companies don't give a good review, they won't get shoes anymore. They won't. Like Distance Empty, they're sponsored by Mount to Coast. They say it's the best thing since I don't know. They think it's the best shoes ever. It's their first shoe sponsor. I don't blame them for saying that, but no, they're not the best thing ever. I've tested the Mount to Coast T1s. They're okay. I had a problem with them gapping on my ankle. I've only had one other brand do that before. So they're an okay shoe. Are they worth the price? No. They're a little bit expensive. $170 for a Chinese shoe? They should be $130. Why? Because they're a Chinese brand. Their cost structure is much less. So, Mount to Coast, it sounds English, but it's not. It's a Chinese brand. Of course, all shoes are made in China or Vietnam. Some are made in Cambodia. But if you're a Chinese brand, like Li Ning, Mount to Coast, even Salomon's owned by a Chinese company. But, of course, they're based in Europe. Their price structure should be lower. So, anyways, just got off on a tangent talking about shoes, but you got to try them out for yourself and see what's best for yourself. I mean, I used Ultra Olympus for many years. I think most people don't like those shoes. The reviewers give it a bad rate. I gave a bad review to the Olympus 6. I'm going to try out their new 270. It looks pretty good, actually. But I used them for many years. I liked them. So they were good for me because I'm a heavy runner and I have a flat foot. But you got to try them yourself. Ultras are not for everybody. Right now, I've got my latest pair of Hoka Speedgoat 6s that I bought for Tunnel Hill. I like them a lot. I wear stuff that's 4 to 6 millimeter drop, and I wear 0 drop. Works fine for me, but not for everybody. Some people use 0 drop and it hurts their feet. So if I go too high of drop, like some of the Nikes got 8 to 10, and some of the Adidas even higher than that, like the carbon plate shoes, I can go out and do 5-6 miles, but if I do a long race, it really hurt my feet. So anyways, that was a long talk about shoes. Let me know what you're up to, how things are going. It feels like a Sunday night because we've been off for many days, but it's cool that it's only Friday. So then I go back. I need to decide if I'm going to lift weights or just get started on my Zwift soon. So challenge is later to wait for Zwift. It also makes it harder to go to sleep because Zwift workouts are so intense, and you really can't screw around because it makes it intense because it gets harder as the route goes. So by the time you're finished with it, I think almost every route takes at least an hour. I mean, like the one last night I did, told me that I was going to take 50 minutes. I think it took an hour and 20 minutes. I know they're probably based on my FTP score, which I did when I first started. And I've gotten much better. So it should take me less time, not more time. So their timing is a little bit off. I don't know if it's because they think people will take breaks or not. I don't know. So, but I enjoy it. But anyways, my point is, if I do a really hard Zwift workout too late, it makes it harder to go to sleep. Even though I'm taking, one trick is I've been studying magnesium a lot. It's critical for everyone to take magnesium, especially when you get older. But there are like 5 or 6 different types. And I've been listening to Peter Attia and stuff. But I started taking magnesium glycinate at night. That's the best one for sleep. And it actually makes you a little bit tired. But there are some like magnesium threonate. I had been taking sometimes. What I did before is I alternated them. I had 4 different types of magnesium. One night I'd take one, the next night I'd take another. But I've been studying them. Some are better to take in the morning. Like threonate gives you energy. But everyone is deficient in magnesium, especially when you get older. And it's hard for them to measure it from a blood test because most of the magnesium is in your cell. But they know from studies and stuff, magnesium, vitamin D, almost everybody is low in these things. So it's good to take a supplement and then study which ones are best for you. But you got to be careful because if you take too much of something, you can actually cause yourself problems. So I always take like 50 to 75% of what's recommended. And then I also take into consideration that, because I also take a multivitamin. I take a good one, but it also includes a lot of these other things that I just mentioned, but in small amounts. So you need to make sure you add them all together. And if you don't, I think maybe it was Peter Attia or another expert I was listening to. They said if you don't understand vitamins very well, just take a general vitamin and try to eat very well. They say it's a lot like investing in stocks, okay? Would you invest all your money in an ETF, an ETF tech fund, if you didn't understand it? No. You invest in mutual funds, diversify. That takes your risk down because in a mutual fund, they can only invest in a company up to 5%. So the risk is very low, but you still can get a lot of gain. Same thing in supplements and vitamins. If you don't know what you're doing and you take too much of something, you can actually hurt yourself. So if you don't know what you're doing and don't study it extensively like I do, just take a multivitamin, a very good quality one, not a Walmart one. Get you a really nice one. Like on the feed, they sell many good qualities. BPN makes one too. Or the one a day is good. Actually, you can buy that at Walmart, but just don't get the generic like Amazon one or something like that. Get you a good multivitamin. I suggest take a magnesium supplement. Peter Attia says he takes up to 1 gram a day. I only take like 500 milligrams. But so just take. I suggest take a general vitamin, multivitamin. Eat well, and take a magnesium supplement, glycinate, or actually all of them are pretty good. But if you go to like Costco, they sell like 4 or 5 different types, and they're all kind of specialized. Your body uses many types. Some is more for the mind, some is more for your muscle. But magnesium glycinate seems to be the best one after I've been studying it. I got many types. And then team that up with vitamin D. So that's important because when you take magnesium with vitamin D, it works well. I learned that if you take vitamin D without magnesium, it doesn't work well. It doesn't get absorbed well by the body. So you need to take them together. And I usually just take about 2,000 IUs of vitamin D, plus my multivitamin has a little bit in it. But some people say you should take up to 5,000 IUs, but I'm in the sun all the time, so my level shouldn't be as low as some people's. So, but I do still take a supplement. It doesn't hurt. But well, the sun's starting to come down, and oh boy, we've been talking 35 minutes. Hope everybody's having a great Friday night. And I'll talk to y'all later, maybe from the gym, or definitely tomorrow. So have a good weekend, my friends. Bye for now.